Sorry, man. Thank you. I need to record it. Okay, let's now. I started that one. It's okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Let me show you this. You will get a good idea about this one. 1 second. See this. Okay. These are the modifiers or access control, or we'll call it as access specifiers too. This is the table. I think it is visible for you. This is a modifier, and we are having three statements over here. One is a package, and this is a subclass, and this is a world in the sense outside the project itself. Outside the project, we're having so many projects, right? Outside the project also we can access. So inside public, we just took a public access modifier. This is about an access control. This is an object. I mean, this is about an access specifiers or a modifiers. I think you got the point. What he is asking, just I'm telling it to you. Public, what it will do? Public, I mean, public in the sense we can access inside a package and outside this, I mean, inside a subclass and outside the package too. So outside the package also we can access it. So within the class also we can access what are all the methods or a class or some variables also. Everything will be accessible by using this access specifier, and there is a protected. But outside the world in the sense what I said, outside the package or outside the project, we can't access that. So we are having a demo for project, and there is another project too. So we can't access that one. So inside a protected. If it is like a public outside the project also, we can access that. And after that, default. So it is like, it is not in the sense of a switch case, this is a keyword. But in the sense of an access specifier, this is not a keyword. Please remember this. There is nothing like default access specifier. We'll mention it as, if we are not going to consider any access specifier, this one, we'll consider it as a default. Let me show you. I think you will get a good idea. See this. I'm going to remove this. So now I'm considering it as default. This is a default access specifier method. So this is outside this project. We can't access this inside this package. It is not possible. So if we mention it as a public, we can access, right? So again, I will share the document. Okay. Now default, in the default sense, we can't even access in a subclass too. Subclass in the sense, let me share you NetBeans. See here, if I'm going to take one more class, so this is the main class, and I'm going to write public class, or we'll take it as star. Okay, so I created a class. This is a subclass. And one more thing, let me tell you. In examination, just take, if you are going to access another class, don't take a class outside the class. Make sure that the class is inside your main class. Make it as the class is inside your main class, because what I'm saying, so at the time of examination point of view, they can't understand how you are going to access that class. So better keep your subclass, I mean, keep your another class inside this class only. I think you got my point. I will tell you a small demo on that after the completion of this. I mean, I think there is nothing at all, right? 9.39, 940. Okay, 10 minutes is there. It's okay. Tomorrow we'll do that one. That was not a big deal. So make sure that give the example in this way. Take a class inside your main class. Don't go for other classes like this. Take new Java class in this way. It will be created outside the class. We are going to access that one from the outside. Don't make it in that way. Make sure that your class is inside your main class, and then you can access what all the things you want. Okay, by creating an object of this class inside the main method, and you can access this class. You know that already. Okay. Let me share your document. Okay, private. What we discussed, private, we can't access anywhere. So it should be, if you declared inside a method, you can access that one inside that method only. If you declared inside a class itself, you can access inside that class only. You can't even access from the outside also. Nothing will be happen. You can't access inside the package, and you can't access inside the subclass too, and inside I mean in other projects also. So it is essential to know about a private access. So the scope should be only within a method or a class or a variable where you declared. So it is inside the braces. If it is you declared as a private variable, it is inside the braces. You can access in between the braces only, not from the outside. Make sure that private, in the sense, keep it as a sensitive data. If it is like a sensitive data, you can't access that one. That we called it as an encapsulation, right? At the time of a setter getter methods and the building of a constructors. So make sure that consider it as an encapsulation. And one more thing you have to remember, to access those, it is essential to write a setter or a getter methods, or else go for a argumented constructors. So don't confuse at all. I will give you a single program for each and every topic, so that you will get a clear cut idea about this. Okay. Okay, access control has been completed. Okay, see this, there is an example too. I will share this one to you. So these are the local variables I mentioned. These are the local variables. If I mention over here as a private, no, there is no need to change this one. You can access within this method only. You can't even access from the outside of this. You can't even access over here also. You can't even access over here also. Okay, got my point, right? Okay, it has been completed. Let me check. Where is the syllabus? Okay, yeah. And recursive methods. Yeah, this is one of the best topic. Without using for loops, do while loops, can we do an iteration? This is the main task of recursive methods. Let me share you NetBeans. Okay, I think I can remove this one. I'm going to remove this one also. So now we are working on recursive methods. So what is a recursion? It is an iteration like loop concept. For loop itself, what we'll do? Let me declare a for loop. For loop. What was that? For int I is equals to 1, and there is a semicolon, and there should be a condition like is equals to 5. So 1 to 5 we are going to print, and then we are going to increment that one. This is an increment operator we just use. If I want to print this, println and I, okay. Now I'm going to run this program. Say this. So I'm printing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. So I'm using an iteration over here. What he said, what is the topic we have to discuss? We have to discuss without this loops and all. Without loops, can we do this? Yes, we can do this. See the iteration, what I will do. I'm going to remove this, and now I'm going to declare. Okay. There should be declaration of a variable. Sorry, let me declare this. Declaration of variable. So here I'm going to declare the value I is equal to 1. Okay, display. I'm going to send this I. Let me create a method. Sorry, 1 second. Alt enter, and it has been created. So you just remember the shortcut keys too. So if there is any error, just keep over there the cursor and press alt and enter, so that it will be created automatically. Okay, now I'm going to write a condition. If I less than 10, I will take as a 10. I'm going to write a condition over here. So what should I do? System dot out dot print ln. Okay, now I'm going to print. Let me declare this outside so that I can access inside this method too. And it should be a static, or else it throws error. Static. Please observe what are all the things I am doing. So I just declare a variable outside this method, and this is calling function. This is a calling function, and I'm sending this value. Okay, no need of this. I think directly I can send 10 is enough, or else 5 is enough. So now I'm sending a 10 over here. Oh, make like 20. Now I'm going to print that I value. Okay, everything is correct, right? Yeah. And now I'm going to print, and again I'm going to call display. Oh, we'll take it as a 5. Okay, so I'm sending again. So iteration will start from here and again from here, and it goes over here. So the loop will continue till a 20. Why can't we go for a 20? Why can't we take a 10 so that it is easy for us? First, this will be printed. Okay, from here itself, I'm going to call. Yeah, I think not necessary over here, and there is no need of this. And I'm going to int I. So it is enough in this way. Oh, sorry. It is essential, because while you are sending that, it is essential to pass an argument to. So this is the iteration. Just it has been completed. See this here itself. I'm calling from the main method at display. From display itself, I'm sending a 10 over here. So it checks for a 10. 10 less than 10. Need to take mine. 1 I will take. Yeah. 10 less than 10. I mean 1 less than 10. So it is satisfied. So 1 will be displayed at this stage. Again 5 will be went to this like this. 1 second, let me run this file. Out of bounds error. 1 second. Let me check this. Wait a second. There should be a small one. Let me check this. Where did I mention this? I mentioned it somewhere else. If I give you a good example, then you will understand it easily. Wait a second. So I will show that one. Yeah, I got a good example over here. Let me try this. Okay. Okay. Where is the document? Yeah. Okay, yeah. See this. I'm returning a value 0. I mean, after the returning a value, it will be assigned to the result. Just don't remember that one. That is not essential for us. So here itself, again, I am calling a sum over here. So this is a recursive function. I'm sending again and again. By this, we can achieve what are all the iteration concepts like for loop and do while loop. There are so many iteration concepts out there. So we can achieve that by using this recursive function. So now I'm going to run this one. 55. So every time I'm sending the value and each value is getting summed. I mean, they are getting addition over here. And the value is, this is a good example. Make sure that you just remember this one. There is so many examples over there. I will give that one inside a single program after the completion of this unit. Okay. Let me format this. Yeah. So let me explain this one. So here I just declared a variable. This is the declaration of a variable. And we just assigned the method over here. This method has been assigned over here. For this, it is having int value over here. That's why it is essential to return integer only. So what are all the things inside this? It should be an integer. So else it is not required, I think. Actually, this is not required. It's okay. You can write in this way also. So the condition is satisfied, but this is just for the information point of view. If you remove this one also, we'll get the answer itself. So just consider this one. Inside this, we are having a return type integer, what we explained in previously, and it is assigned to the result every time till 10. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus till 10 itself got added and it gives the value 55. If you have any doubts, tomorrow I will explain it again. And there is an important topic too tomorrow, and what I said, just remember those things. The people are not staying in a class. Some people are staying like only 6 minutes or 7 minutes. Make sure that stay online. Okay, don't keep your phone outside and just make it as online and just roaming outside. Some people are after the completion of 1 hour and they are coming. Most of the people are doing in that way. And one more thing I have to remember you, please stay online while I'm explaining each and everything. And I will share the document what I prepared for the first unit, and as well as I'm going to cover the first unit again. We are going to discuss the first unit and second unit again. Okay, there is no need to worry about that. Java is a very easy language. You can learn it very easily. But examination point of view, it is required to know about the information and all. And take a reference as a textbook. So if you want to get a good marks, and the textbook is also an essential part it plays. So make sure that keep this document and parallelly read the textbook too. Okay, you may leave the class. Thank you.